Hello, good evening, and welcome to Dragon Ball Speak, a show where we summarize and review every episode of Dragon Ball Z, and we rate them each on a scale of 1 to 7 stars. What did I miss something? We review 3 episodes at a time, but this episode we're not doing that. We're doing just 1 episode this time because there's some stuff we can talk about with the episode, but more importantly, it's a time thing. We're playing catch up a little bit, so bear with us. Anyway, point is, I am Brandon.
And I'm Wesley.
And this is Dragon Ball Speak, episode 83. Before we begin, thank you to our Patreon supporters, Aiden Wable, Brian Kazmala, Rypato1992, and Taiwan Owens. You guys, your support, especially whenever we're a little bit on the rocks in terms of scheduling, means more than you'll ever know. We don't deserve you. Thank you. Now.
Yes.
Should we go over the episode first or the topic of the show first?
Let's go over the episode first.
All right, the episode is called... It's episode 267 of Dragon Ball Z. We only have roughly 30 episodes of the show left. This one's called Ready to Fuse.
Yes.
Are you?
No.
Did you like the episode?
I forgot to rate it, but...
I give it a 4.
Yeah, I think I was going to say I'd give it like a 4. It was fun.
All right, so run me through it. Hit me with it.
We start off with just a reminder that Boo is kicking Gohan's butt before we go to Planet Z, and Goku is learning that the fusion earrings are permanent. It's a permanent fusion, which I don't buy, but that's what they're saying. And then we learn that the old Roshi Kai is actually the fusion of a like Supreme Kai type character and a not Baba Yaga.
Anyone who doesn't regularly watch our show, all the terminology he just used, they would be like, "What the hell is he even talking about?" Planet Z, Baba Yaga, but everyone who watches knows.
Well, there's only been 2 witches now in the show, but they look the same, except shape. Their body shapes are different, but they all have the same color hair and the same outfit. Anyway, so boom! Oh, big revelation. That's crazy. That's how old.
You don't buy it, bro?
I don't buy the permanence of fusing with the earrings. I mean, I know he's kind of stuck with it.
You don't think it'll end up giving us a new character permanently?
I do not think it will. That's just a hunch I have.
Just a hunch. All right.
I don't know how they're going to reverse it, because it does seem to be permanent within the confines of the show. Although if that's true, then old Roshi Kai is kind of an asshole, because he fused the other 2 without asking or anything, just did it, and now they are stuck in the same body.
It's a big downgrade to me.
Yeah. Also, it seems to be that, what's the bigger guy's name? I forget his name. Kibito completely lost. His voice is gone. He has no agency anymore.
It's his hair.
That's right. Yeah, but it's Supreme's voice, and he's like, "This is amazing. This is awesome." And I'm like, man, inside that body is Kibito, and he is just screaming.
Yeah, he said the reason that he had the powers that he has to awaken Gohan's powers because he fused with the witch. I don't know if this is a throwaway gag or filler, or if it's just to really
it doesn't really add up.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is this is the first time we've had a fusion where it's just one voice and they're not overlapping the voices, which is preferable to me.
Yeah. I do wonder if that was a money thing or a choice.
I think the only reason the 2 voices bothers me so far is just because Gotenks is 2 quote unquote children talking.
Yeah.
And it makes it significantly more annoying. So so in this episode we see Goku, so Gohan's fighting Boo and he's losing. Dende goes over and heals him. I don't know if you noticed, but it also healed his clothes.
Yeah, that's actually a normal thing.
Yeah, when you heal, your clothes also heal. Just in general,
your fabric is better now.
Your fabric.
Yeah, and then Boo is like, I do not care. I'm about to destroy Dende, and then you'll be screwed, Gohan. And who steps up to save the day?
Who does?
Mr. Satan with the blicky.
Oh, I was getting way ahead of ourselves. You know what's funny? I wrote down blicky too. He had the blicky.
He literally shot it, and it worked, kind of, or no? I'm getting it because he's shot twice, and one of the times he thinks he did really good.
both of the times he thinks he saved the day.
Yeah.
This is where we get the really, really cool dramatic Tien reveal.
That's right. Yeah. And we get the it's a shot of Boo I've seen a lot in years passing. The one where his face and he's doing touching his forehead, or he's got his hands out doing something. I don't know. It was a full screen image. I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah. Tien shows up, and it's really, really cool as a reveal because first off, the energy gets deflected, and we're like, okay, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Satan's gun did not do that. And then you just see the hands in the triangle and the tri-beam pose, and you're like, whoa, I forgot about Tien. Because if you recall, back when Boo killed everyone on Earth, it actually showed Tien dodging those blasts. So he presumably at the time didn't get killed, and now we know for sure he didn't, which makes sense because he's like a
beast,
expert martial artist. So anyway,
where's Chaozu? What was that? Is he still?
He's
dead. He's not dead. He's been revived through the Dragonballs.
Well, yeah, but he's not here, so he maybe got killed by Boo, or maybe he's just chilling because he wouldn't really do anything.
Have we seen Tien's back yet?
Boo's back? You mean?
Oh, no, Tien's is maybe Chaozu's on Boo's back, on Tien's back.
I thought you were referencing how he blows up on Nappa's back.
That would actually be the coolest thing ever. That's
like this whole time.
Chaozu's return. That would actually be awesome because that would be a full circle of Dragon Ball Z's like arcs.
It wouldn't do anything again. But it would just explode for no reason.
It'd be awesome.
Do you remember when that happened and Nappa's just like, oh, that kind of hurt. Yeah. Anyway.
And Tien's like, no.
Yeah. Tien gets his arm punched off. It still doesn't make sense. But anyway.
Tien's back, baby.
Tien's back and he jobs.
Yeah. There's a really funny... Oh, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I keep getting ahead of myself.
Go ahead. Just say
it. Boo doesn't care. He doesn't really know who Tien is. And he's like, okay, this guy's...
Yeah, but he looks so cool.
Yeah, he is like, I want to fuse with that guy because that's a cool fit.
All right, 1 second. 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rate the fit. Rate the fit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rate the fit.
I like that you went to 9 in your count of
them. I'm a tempo expert.
This is a 5/4 song.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best. It's Tien's best by far, and especially in this arc, I think it's the best fit so far. We've had some pretty designs and fits in Tien's. It's the kind of fit that is perfect for a return like this.
It is, and he looks like as swole as ever and as cool design as ever, and it makes my heart ache because like he already got basically not killed, but you know he's basically out of the picture already, and it just reminds me that Tien is one of the coolest characters we have, and it's so unfortunate that they never cared to have a way for like the human characters to keep up, because like I still think Krillin and Tien being in the picture would be really neat.
Especially Krillin. Krillin's like Goku's best friend.
Right. So it's like... And he hasn't effectively done anything since Namek in terms of like fighting someone and doing...
Yeah.
You know, having a result that is favorable. But anyway, yeah, so Tien returned just to get murked, but they hold him off for a second. Boo's about to blow up the Earth. He's like, all right, it's about time to... So here's my question for you at this point. Like, what is, if someone like gunned to your head, if Satan had his blicky to your head and his hog swinging, and he was like, tell me the differences right now in this episode between Boo's character and Cell's character.
I was actually thinking of this, so it's funny that you brought this up because we don't really have a motive that makes sense for Boo. Other than like his general anger at the world because of the whole genie in a bottle thing.
Right. So
Cell was like designed to kill.
And he also had Goku's genes in him, and he wanted to like test his strength. It was his biggest thing. But yeah, he also wanted to wreak a little havoc. But with Boo, it's tough. Like, first off, he could have blown up the Earth in the first place. We've talked about this a few times. Like, I get why you can't just like have them do that, but like you wrote yourself into a corner in that way, because if the villain's just going to be an agent of chaos, then there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. So you're going to have to write a villain that's a little more complex than that, but they chose not to because this villain, as we've discussed, is kind of like a throw spaghetti at the wall kind of villain.
It's also silly because it's like he doesn't need to blow up the world to like, you don't need that for this kind of fight. Like if Boo is attacking Goku and Gohan and all of them, they will fight back in the same way. Like the stakes will be just as like, we don't need another villain that's going to blow up the world. If Boo's like, I'm here to kill you, Goku, and Gohan and everyone you love, like, they can still have these exact same fights, and the tension will still be high. Like Goku
I don't
doesn't-
understand what you mean.
Like
Like without the planet, they would die.
Yeah, well,
no, they would die.
I mean they would. No, I'm saying like why does Boo need to blow up the planet as part of this arc?
Oh, I think it's just like his way to just kill them all at one time and not have to
Yeah.
like think about it anymore. Like, hey,
Which is
okay,
fine. I just like wonder if they could have. Sorry if you heard dogs barking. Written like a better, what is the word I'm looking for?
Sauce.
Yeah, they should have cooked a better sauce.
Honestly, I mean that's like the summary of the whole arc though. At this point,
I know we're like a broken record with.
So okay, now let's just get to it. Goku appears just in time. He cuts Boo in half with a Destructo Disc as he arrives, and he looks all cool. And he throws the earring to Gohan. And he's like, "Hey, put this on," and Gohan drops it. How do you feel about that?
It was very like Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
It was really silly.
yeah. All these
Also,
characters.
Goku's just like shouting the plan
Yeah.
2 feet away from Boo,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Did you think Goku and Gohan were gonna fuse here?
no. Mm.
Really?
I do think it was stupid that Goku, getting ahead of ourselves, but Goku tells Gohan not to worry about it.
Yeah. Very, very, very stupid decision.
And he
That's
like went from, he powered down. And it's like, come on, dude.
Because he was like, yeah, me and Gohan versus this Boo. Boo, basically the Gotenks unfused at the same time that they were all fighting. Goku was Super Saiyan 3 for a moment, which I was pretty sure he couldn't do as immortal, they said. But
He did it like instant too. It was actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
looking.
He busted right into it. But I was fairly certain that he had stated that he had to learn it in Otherworld because it's too unstable to do it as immortal. But here we are, which I guess Gotenks did it too, so whatever. Yeah, and then they unfused, and so now Goku states that Boo had lost over a third of his power as a result. And so they're like, all right, yeah, we can take him on. But it's like, dude, you saw him absorb like 6 different people at this point, and like he's like, oh, you didn't realize that my antenna's not back on my head still, and then he absorbs Gohan. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when they treat their characters stupidly, and then when they treat the audience stupidly, because it's like, oh, what is exciting about that?
Yeah, it's just like. It's like another block that they like added just for the sake of extending the show.
Right. So now tell me, what was the purpose of everything we watched with Gohan?
We have no purpose.
He's out of the picture.
Yeah.
You spent hours of your life
Yeah.
watching Supreme Kai dance around Gohan.
Which they already kind of ruined because of Goku's return.
You spent hours of your life watching Gotenks learn how to fuse.
For nothing.
What was the you spent, however much time like waiting for the Z sword to come out.
Yeah.
There's just so many things in this arc that end up leading to nothing, and it's so immensely frustrating because it's so disrespectful to your audience to just like you are wasting your audience's time.
Every new development is like
It's
at the cost of the rest of the arc's development.
like you can hear the editors being like, yeah, this whole like Gohan thing isn't getting good reception. Just go ahead and write him back out. Goku's back. Yeah, just go ahead and throw Vegeta back too. He's a fan favorite, even though that completely undermines his sacrifice from like 20 episodes ago, 30 episodes ago. And now what do you assume will happen next?
Bring Tien back. That would be pretty cool. But,
I don't even know.
Tien doesn't really do anything, so he'll probably be done quick. But people will love that. And then
The thing about Tien, dude, is like yes, Boo is like way past that point, but Tien's always in a state of training. I feel like you could have like done him a little less dirty there. Like,
Well,
no,
he's
I don't
been
think he
gone.
should have won.
But he's been gone for like so long that you could just be like he's extremely powerful now.
You could be like, he went to a monk village and unlocked a new way to unlock potential.
Yeah, he could have
That-
4
I just
eyes
did it.
now. Give him a fourth eye.
Fourth eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
His third eye at least looks better than Doctor Strange's
That
third
is
eye.
true.
That's all I gotta
Spoilers.
say. If you didn't watch it, then you're fine.
Yeah, so Goku's like, I gotta get back to Earth, guys. He's about to blow it up, and he does. He instant transmissions, and he slice of dices,
Yeah.
cuts off an antenna piece, and his body in half, Boo's body in half, and it kind of was really cool for a second. Then I forgot that doesn't really do anything to Boo, but
Yeah.
it looked cool. That shot was so sick of the explosion, the multiple body parts, and then Goku in the corner, like, heh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of this was really good in that regard. It was reminiscent of Frieza getting cut in half, except that actually mattered. because Frieza can't regenerate. That's the last major villain we had that like couldn't regenerate or didn't have infinite stamina.
Yeah, that should really only do that once.
Well, that's my thing. This like Cell's whole thing was that he absorbed people and became more powerful. Like you can't just do that again, but like very, very slightly different. Like
also, it's funny because it's like you're also introducing a version of that called fusion that the heroes are doing, and it's like I don't know why. I don't know.
I forget. What's your read on like fusion? Like, what do you
I don't
like
really
fusion
it so far? No.
Where do you think it's about to go? So like at the end of this episode, yeah, Gohan gets absorbed. He's like, oh, I'm gonna have to fuse with either Dende or Satan or Tien, but Tien's down for the count, and we need Dende, so I have to fuse with Satan.
Well, they cut to Vegeta at the end, so I think he's gonna fuse with Vegeta.
Yeah. So do you think we're gonna get our first ever Goku Vegeta fusion?
Yeah, I think so.
You have to admit that that's like a really cool idea.
It is a cool idea.
It's like really, it's like our two characters that we followed and have dynamically changed for the last 200 episodes, 250 episodes. I have a hard time, but and now they're like fusing. Like I can't, like it's cool.
Yeah. I don't hate the idea of fusion. It's just the fusions we've seen so far have not been.
Do you think this could be the first?
Yeah,
worth it one?
I'm excited to see who is the Dom, and who is like sub.
Yeah.
Like whose voice am I going to hear? Or is it? It could be both their voices, but well, that's actually probably what they'll do. I can't imagine that.
So what do you see out of it? So what do you see Vegito? Spoiler. My bad. That's what it's called. I was thinking about it. Do you see that like being the end? Do you see that being like the end of it?
A fusion?
Yeah. Like finally ending it once and for all. Like
I don't
here
know
and
if
now.
it'll be the end.
Like
of
I
it.
said, we only have.
I do wonder, like, is this going to be...
What do we have? 293? That's the first time I've ever, in 83 episodes, accidentally spoiled something. Which, I mean, come on. Like, that's how the episode ended.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, I had a hunch because on a different episode, we had a guest who said a word, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
That could be a name for a character combo.
Yeah.
And then I saw this, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Old boy's coming.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
I actually noticed that when that happened, too.
Yeah, that wasn't like, I mean, not a big spoiler. I could have guessed. Who hasn't fused, you know? And
lots of people.
They were going to do Goku and Gohan, and that didn't happen. So the next logical step is Vegeta. Why else would you bring Vegeta back? I am excited to see what that looks like.
So now that I literally told you it's going to basically happen, like, tell me what you think there. Like, yeah, it's cool, sure, but like, I guess I don't know what my question is. I guess my question, I already asked, like, do you think this is going to end it?
The fight with
Do you think
Boo?
this is like the final sequence for what it's worth, or for lack of better phrasing?
No. There's got to be like one more thing up Boo's sleeve. I don't know what it could be, but...
Okay, well, considering that the fusion is permanent, how do you think, since you don't think it's going to be permanent, how do you think that ends up happening?
I don't know. I'm going to guess Dragon Balls.
Oh, that's a very fair guess.
This show could end in 3 episodes, and then the next 20 are them finding the Dragon Balls, fighting a villain that I've never heard of and will never think about again. And then they just like reverse everything. And then Dragon Ball Z ends kind of where it began, but everybody is stronger.
Maybe. Hey, at the very least, I'll tell you what. This series does not end with a bunch of crappy filler like Dragon Ball did.
Okay, I like that. That's good. It's crazy that we are coming up on the end.
Like you were about to have watched all of Dragon Ball Z. Like that's insane. What a journey we've embarked on.
300-ish episodes
almost.
Crazy.
And then we got more to watch, more to come. I think we'll be buying those Dragon Ball Super Blu-rays mighty soon.
Yeah, we need to.
I think we'll go right into Super.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I want to go right into Super.
Well, we have to watch the 2 movies and then we go right into Super.
That's right.
And I also want to watch. There's a movie called Fusion Reborn we need to watch.
And Bio Broly.
And we need to do Bio Broly. So it'll be a little while. Anyway,
topic of the show.
All right, so real quick, I wanted to do a topic of the show. We both gave that episode 4 to 7. You kind of know what's coming next, so I hope you're excited for it. I wanted to say, what do you think? If you had to pick like 1 or 2 moments in the show, so like everyone has their favorite moments, whether it's Vegeta's sacrifice, whether it's Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time, or Gohan becoming Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. Those are like the most popular favorite moments. And then you have like the favorite filler, like people always meme on Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive as like, yeah, it's a really underrated filler, like, which I still kind of disagree with.
Still filler.
Yeah. What do you think? for you is like an underrated moment of Dragon Ball Z? I know you're not like super with it in terms of like the community, but I'm sure you can kind of get an idea there.
I wrote down 4. We already talked about.
I've got a couple myself.
2 kind of, which Chaozu's sacrifice is still, it's underrated in a very comedic way. It really is just so messed up. Like, it's just, they did him so dirty.
Yeah.
But that was the last time we saw him?
No. I mean, he's been there.
When was the last time
he
we
was
saw
revived
him?
with the dragon?
That's
I mean,
right, he has been.
You know, he's just been around.
Yeah,
Anytime,
I just love that
we haven't
like,
seen a lot of Tien. Anytime you see Tien, pretty much, he's like there, but he hasn't done anything since then. He was at the Cell Games.
I love that like these characters just die and they come back and they die and they come back. And like just the trauma that they are going through in their lives. I don't know if the Dragon Balls erase the memory of death, but
heck no.
Like these poor humans who just like at the whim of Saiyans.
No, I think the last time we saw Chiaotzu in any capacity was Cell Games, but we probably saw him also not dying to Majin Buu's blast. I just can't remember if he was there or not.
Yeah. And then my others, Mr. Satan shooting the energy beam, that is already an underrated moment. People don't talk about that, and I feel like why I feel like that should be a meme. Mr. Satan with the gun. It looks so strange in a Dragon Ball Z episode.
It is weird,
just
like
someone with the gun.
Very realistic, like Glock.
And he's just like
shooting it.
Screw it, I got this. And then let's see. I really liked Bobity's like little tower thing. With the trio, and they're doing their little rock paper scissors to see who goes, and it could have played out a little better, but it was cool to see them like just like at their most confident.
I really appreciate that answer because it's almost like a better version of Muscle Tower from the original series.
Yeah.
And it's one of the very few times we get to see like Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan like truly interacting and working together like in a very satisfying and fun way.
But it's in like a very like bro-y friend way too, so it's like kind of charming. For
sure, because Gohan is still like the young one and he has respect for Vegeta, but like that's like the peak I feel like of like Goku Vegeta like broness.
Yeah.
So far.
Agreed. And then my last one is, I don't remember if it was pre-Cell Games, like right before the actual game started, or it might have been the first Broly movie for some reason, but there is a moment where the whole gang's just laying and they're like having a picnic and there's like cherry blossom trees everywhere, and they're like prepared. They're like taking one last like moment to like relax before the big thing happens. And for some reason, I think it's either the first Broly movie we watched or right before the Cell Games start.
Both.
Okay.
So the cherry blossoms is Broly.
Okay.
And they're all having a picnic and karaoke. So what you're thinking of otherwise is Goku and Gohan, whenever they master the Super Saiyan form, Goku's like, well, there's 9 days till the Cell Games. So let's just rest for 3 days, train for 3 days, and then rest for another 3 days. And kind of like the calm before the storm type thing.
Yeah. I like the quieter, like the moments where they're just being family, relaxing, chilling.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Also, the Broly one I remember being particularly like well animated, like the cherry blossom scene.
Those two movies in general are like some of the best Dragon Ball Z looks, and Fusion Reborn is like one of the best animated movies as well. I put for mine, I got a couple. I think Vegeta's death on Namek is underrated because it's a very, very emotional moment. He's obviously killed by Frieza. We unfortunately watched the Dragon Ball Z dub of it and not the Dragon Ball Z Kai dub of it. Which in Dragon Ball Z, he's like, he made me what I am, blah, 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 blah. Not what he says at all. In Kai, it's a much better speech. It's more along the lines of, like, you are the last bastion of the Saiyan race. Like, please avenge us type thing. Either way, it's an emotional death. And to see the character like Vegeta, who was the major antagonist of the previous arc, like, crying on the ground about to die is a pretty big deal. I don't know if this like fits in underrated, but I think like the fact that 16 never came back, like 18's back.
True.
As like Krillin's wife, but like, and then 16 dying was the catalyst for Gohan's big emotional moment. But like, he's just gone. Like they weren't like, let's rebuild 16 and he can be part of the gang. Like
they forgot about him. They don't mention him no more. Like,
hey, remember that guy? Remember that fully robotic, like Bulma? All they would have to be like Bulma's like, I took his main chip that was broken and I repaired it and I rebuilt him. Yep. Like it wouldn't even be questionable.
He's a really nice guy. He liked his birds.
He liked the birds.
Didn't want to fight.
He's like the guy from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I want my bird. Whiplash.
I think it's I was thinking, so yes, I had that, and then you said Whiplash, and then I thought of the movie Whiplash instead of the character. Anyway,
he's in that movie as well.
I think when Trunks blast Vegeta, who he has like the utmost respect for, because Vegeta wouldn't end Cell, and Vegeta was letting Cell get 18 because he wanted to see how strong he would become, which ended up being an incredibly bad decision. I think that was really cool because like up until that point, Trunks is like trying to earn Vegeta's respect and like trying to be, I don't know if cordial is the right word, but like the fact that he blasted him away and Vegeta's like, that son of a bitch really did it.
Yeah.
I love that. And then my last one, quick shout out to Videl versus Spopovich, because I think that's a really good fight. But
Spopovich, guy, I forgot about them.
that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't. That was like probably 60 episodes ago.
Spopovich. Yeah.
Biggest thing I need to explain. I'm gonna say Goku versus Majin Vegeta. He'd be like, "Well, that's not underrated." Well, I think it kind of is, because like the core, everyone loves the fight because it's a cool fight and like it's Goku versus Vegeta 2.0. But I think it's so underrated in the fact that it is like a very slow and like deliberate and like well animated fight that is much more reminiscent of like the early Dragon Ball fights than it is of most modern Dragon Ball Z fights. There's nothing like overly fast and flashy. It's really has way more focus on choreography and then like of course the interaction between the two characters. I feel like not enough emphasis gets placed on that because a lot of people complain about Dragon Ball Z and so on because of, the fights are so fast and like they prefer the older Dragon Ball style fights, but like you can't, like, I feel like the Goku versus Majin Vegeta is almost like the best example of that.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I do like that one. I can see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. Like every punch he throws feels like he's like trying to like win, as opposed to like tossing 50 and hoping if you land, he's like, this one's gonna do it.
That or like spinning him around and throwing him into a cliff. Like there's none of that nonsense. Who's your favorite character right now?
Favorite character right now?
I mean, none of them are at their best. But if you just had to pick one, go with your gut.
Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because he has not been around enough and they haven't really done his character dirty.
You didn't want him to come back.
I know. I'm saying because he has not been around enough, I don't have any like reasons to dislike him at this moment. Whereas most of the other characters, I've been like,
he said, "I'm not gonna fight Boo." He said it needs to be someone else. Someone needs to protect the Earth, the next generation. And then he's just like, "Boop,
yeah,
I'm back."
Respect. He knows. The Earth needs him.
Anyway, Vegeta's much more interesting to watch him most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or at least like on a character interaction level. I always love watching Goku the most in terms of like fighting, but
yeah, I mean Goku's just Superman.
Goku's Goku. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dragon Ball Speak episode 83. We thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with us in busy, insane times, especially lately. But Dragon Ball Speak Out, we'll be back next week with episode 84, and it won't be a miss because we're going to go ahead and take care of that right now.
Dragon Ball Speak out.